How's it going?
Good.
Good. Okay, automation?
Yes, it is.
All right. I'm Fred.
I'm Ken.
Nice to meet you.
Hello, Fred. Jim McCreary. I'm the president.
Don Ellis.
Nice to meet you. Oh, I guess I'll go that way around.
Fred. So, Fred, what are your interests?
How you doing? Electronics. I'm into.
Yes.
I got a degree with at ITT for computer engineering, electronics, technology. I just got a job with L3. So, and somebody mentioned meetups, and I saw you guys on there, and I thought, what the heck?
Cool.
So, yeah.
So you tinker with stuff?
Yes.
You like to tinker with?
A little bit of everything. I've got about 7 or 8 TVs down in my basement that my wife's begging for me to get rid of. I'm like, honey, they're a treasure trove of components.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, but yeah.
I tinker down in the pieces area some. Some of these are, this guy is more robotic and ham radio-ish and everything under the sun. And
see, I'm just like into all of it. I want to learn everything. So yeah.
Okay. Like any.
I want to know it all.
Yeah. I want to know it all. Yeah.
I
want to be a know-it-all. So.
He's microprocessor guy and robot guy. I'm NE 555, 2N2222, and that kind of guy, and other stuff too. PLCs, little PLCs.
Okay.
So.
Just a little bit of everything that I kind of know. Just, mess with Arduinos a little bit, stuff like that. So yeah.
We've been in Arduino. In fact, Ray get us some robot kits, and we distributed them through the club. People bought the kits, and some of them put together the, what do we call them?
Bitty bots.
Bitty rubbers.
Oh, okay.
I didn't bring my paperwork this time because I am forgetting my junk. I give you a sign-up sheet, and we have a website. Oh. We start at 5 doing informal stuff. We just went through our junk. I showed them my SATA drive that went bad, 2.5 inch, and he got the new Uno Wi-Fi for free from Arduino. For free.
Oh, okay.
Because he's $0. Yeah.
Leroy spent big money on that one.
That's a zero Leroy bucks there.
Actually, you know what that really cost me? That was a whole bunch of time is what that was.
So how did you swing that?
They periodically, both Arduinos, Arduino Org and Arduino CC, as well as other places, but they have contests for share your projects.
Oh, okay.
So I shared a project, not really expecting anything.
Yeah.
And apparently it was all right because they sent me
There you go.
a free Arduino.
Nice.
So,
Yeah.
so I can't really complain about that.
Oh no.
You can go to that website and go to the meeting notes, and you'll see our meeting announcements and links to various other things, including a lot of the members have folders. Like this guy has a bunch of junk in his folder. I have junk in my folder. Frank's got some junk in his folders. And like I said, from 5 to 5:30, we do informal stuff and what's up, and what broke and what's not. I did, and talking about junk, I got my second camera. I do Wi-Fi cameras the home video camera security systems.
Oh.
This is my second camera. I added it. Took about 2 minutes to add it. And there it is, including the audio.
Including audio.
Including audio. It's all automatic. It just added it to the screen. Bam. If you wanted to report to the phone, you just turn it on, and it starts beeping to your phone if somebody moves. This is great, and it's expensive as hell, $28. So there you go. And it's really automatic. I've been using it.
I've actually thought about putting a few cameras around my house. I have a few punks that like to trash my building, so I've been thinking about setting up some cameras.
Well, this is easy, and these have they have SD cards that you put in them to actually save the pictures.
Oh, okay.
You can see them, you can list them, but they're actually on the camera. And they include the audio, which is really nice.
Yeah, really.
And you turn them on if you want them to alarm, and when they alarm, they'll save the video with the audio. So
Is it got any night vision?
Yeah, oh yeah, all of them. I mean, it's $28. You pay the premium. They're nice so far. I'm used to the FOSS cams, which is.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you tinkered with those, but they didn't have the audio originally, and you kind of have to set them up and allow access through your router, put a path through your router to serve it.
Yeah.
So these are a lot easier. Knuckleheads can operate these. If you want to send me a message, you can through that, and I'll send you a link to where I got them. They're on the eBay, and they're about $28. And it says audio to your cell phone. That's a clue. They seem to work pretty good so far. The FOSS cams are pretty solid, except now they're starting to be blocked. They're starting to block stuff at McDonald's. I noticed they're blocked at McDonald's.
Huh. Okay.
But when you turn Wi-Fi off and you're there.
Oh, okay. I got you. Where you coming, by the way?
Oh, Frank Hill.
Frank Hill. Nice to meet you.
I got here late.
The late
It's not
Frank.
unusual.
Cincinnati State and Cincinnati State, is that right? That's he's into robots and programming and all kinds of stuff. You got anything else, Leroy, before we go to the main event? Are you ready for the main event today, or do you want to do it today?
I wasn't, but I saw my name up there, so I said.
Oh, you weren't ready for it? Because I've got this MKDOCS.
All right, you go ahead. It's a big topic. It's something that a lot of very, very, very bright people are working on. I'm trying to figure out even what they're talking about. I mean, I got my idea, and I can talk about it, but I can't talk about it the way I'd like to, not the way I normally.
We can just wait.
All right, let's wait till next time.
Okay.
Okay.
The topic was quantum computing.
Yes, that's what was advertised too. So.
Yeah.
But that's the way we are. There's no pressure here. We don't like pressure, and we let people do stuff whatever they want. That's how we hang. Did you want to do something then?
Well, I've got documenting projects.
Okay.
Using markdown language.
Yay. Markup language? Markdown language.
Jeremy knows all about it already.
Oh, okay.
And I'm probably going to mess up or something, but the only thing I will add before we actually start, because I don't think this is going to be a very long topic. If you ever want to do a presentation or anything, all you need is a Chrome book or Chrome browser. With the Chromecast extension, we've set up our own router in here,
Okay.
and we have a Chromecast, so we can
Oh, nice.
cast right up to the screen.
Okay.
So it was one of those, it suddenly dawned on us. Duh.
And Leroy found a $15 router, so we got a router.
It was a
And then
$10. It was a $10 router.
$10.
$10? Well, that's Leroy
That's even
bucks
better.
there.
Leroy bucks.
I paid 15 for mine.
So, so the basics of this are easy ways to document projects. And I've set up just a very, very, very generic. Yeah, they all.
And most of them are squeaky. Yeah. I got the non-squeaky chair this time.
You're the only one.
Never mind.
So I set up a very, very, very generic website in about, I don't know, this probably took like 7 minutes to make it, and another couple of minutes to actually upload it to GitHub.
What's the tool?
It's called MKDOCS,
Okay.
and I was going to show what it does before I show how to use it, so that we all kind of have an idea of.
Have you checked docs for like a lot of projects on GitHub? They use this.
Yeah.
Because it's dead simple to do, and the GitHub hosts it anyway. So
It's, yeah, dirt freaking simple. You really don't need to know anything.
That's
You need
me. He's talking about me.
You need to know how to edit a text file, basically, and tell it how to build that text file from the command line.
So it's like a simpler version of Google Docs.
not even that.
Yeah.
It's plain text. Like markdown is just plain text with some stuff in it for formatting.
It's
And it stays human readable. So,
why is my thing doing that? Yeah, it's here. I'll actually show you. So this is like a test site,
That's the editor.
and over here in this tab, I'm working on making a brand new site. So you see where it says testing, make docs, and watch what happens. I'm running my own little simple server on here, and as soon as I change this to, I don't know how to spell. And I save it, it should instantly update on the site. Now this site's not actually live on the internet.
It's your server. Yeah.
It's only being hosted right now, so it's for testing type purposes, so you can see what you're actually going to end up getting. But MakeDocs has a pretty good tutorial here about getting started, and this is pretty much at the point that I'm at. It'll run on Windows, it'll run on Linux. I think they've got a Mac version too. And so that's where I actually was I changed the site name. Now we want to add a page or something to it. So we want to create a new page inside of a folder, which is already created for us. And this is the index site, so we can change this here. So if we want to add a page, you just call it whatever. Call it. Now we're going to add a page. Now we can go here and we can go new, and the hashtags do like boldness,
Headings.
headings, how big your heading's going to be. And there's some other kind of things that further down in the tutorial it actually tells you. So and then we just save it. In the folder, and we save it as the name that we just said that we were going to. I probably did this backwards. I probably should have had the document first. And what happens is now we have a new page that just got added. And see, I put 2 hashtags that made the hello big stand out.
You mean the pound sign?
Yeah.
That increments, okay.
So now let's say I don't like it. I want it bigger. I can add even more hashtags.
I was just going to ask if you add more, it will actually make it bigger. Okay.
Well, that made it smaller.
If you add more, it's smaller.
Smaller is
One is top.
One is top.
Then the rest of it gets smaller.
I got it backwards.
So now what can you use to read the document? Right. You can't read it in a browser, right? Or can you read it in a browser?
MKDOCS turns it into HTML.
Yeah.
Oh, it's HTML. Okay, that makes a whole
It
bunch of
converts
sense.
it to HTML.
Okay.
If we get further down into, I guess it needs 2 hashes to actually. I guess 1 hash doesn't do anything.
So you can make yourself a just real simple website
Yeah.
without knowing HTML or
Without knowing anything, and like
fancy text.
quickly, I made this site. I mean, without knowing anything at all.
So basically, you just got to read through the tutorial to see how your language is written.
It's actually pretty simple.
It looks like it's mostly WYSIWYG. I mean,
Yeah.
type is what you get.
In my corner, I've got several little tutorials about how to actually use this. The markdown style. There it is. So if we wanted to make something in italics, say on my page here, I wanted to make this italics. Looks like I just put a star there. And I'm not seeing italics. Oh, stars around both sides. Do you see how it keeps refreshing the page every time I make a change? And eventually you get to the point where you want to build the site. So on your command line, we'd stop the server. And on my command line, we type MKDOCS build, and we can push this off to GitHub. If I was set up for, if I had this laptop set up for GitHub.
So how did this one come about? People at GitHub say we need something of our own.
I think it was, they wanted something very, very simple, but still very stylized.
Like, Markdown's been around for a while. It's just like, it's basically plain text with just some syntax for formatting and such, but it's still readable as is, even if you don't compile it. And it's designed to compile easily into HTML. And so they just adopted that. Actually, if you...
See, when you actually tell it to build, that's the site that it builds, and it turns it into HTML. So my page here, that
Index.html.
it's going to be an index,
Root.
and I don't know where it's going to open it.
Should open up in whatever your default browser.
It should. It doesn't seem like it's doing it. There it is. So there, yeah, part of it got it. Firefox recognizes the index.
Well, yeah, if that's whatever the default, it should come up. It should come up in all of them.
But it just turns it into regular HTML, so you pretty much can host it anywhere. So if I open this up with the text editor again, you'll see.
HTML.
But I didn't need to know any of that garbage. I just needed to. I didn't even need to put formatting
No,
in it because it already knows what style sheet to use, and
it's a code generator.
if you don't like the default template, if you don't like the default style sheet, MKDOCS has other templates that you can download, or you can make your own, which to me seems like probably more of a pain than it really needs to be.
This is similar to Sites, Google Sites. Sites is you can build your own website, and it has, it's even stupider than this.
There's
Yeah,
a
this
lot
you
of
need to know a little bit.
Yeah.
but this one you don't have to know pretty much anything.
My wife's a graphic designer. She uses Squarespace a lot.
Yeah. Well, this I came across, I don't know, well, probably when we were using GitHub is when I first noticed it on GitHub.
Actually, can I borrow the screen for a bit?
Oh, you want to play?
Yeah.
Because I don't really think I explained it very well.
No, it's straightforward.
Yeah, I understand how it works. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually use Markdown a lot, even if it's not like for like sites or stuff. Because it's sort of I mean, in my opinion, it's just a good way to take notes. Like mostly because this is plain text. Like it doesn't really have any like formatting, because it's readable in its raw form. So like we can have, this is a top level heading.
Yeah.
There's some text.
So that's why I like it, because it's just plain text. You really don't need to know anything. You don't need to.
Well, yeah, there are some peculiarities like because it's plain text. Well, plain text isn't line wrapped. So
Yeah.
like, I mean, technically, like, if you have a bunch of things, like these two will like basically render into like a paragraph.
Yep,
If you skip a line, you do another paragraph. Well, actually, if you do 2 spaces, it makes a new paragraph. I don't like doing that. That's messy.
That's what happened with mine too. I put several spaces. There's a way to make it.
Yeah, and like smaller heading, and then main folded list.
Yep.
And then you can have numbered. And then, no, you don't have to learn Veeam in order to do this. It's a totally separate thing. And like pretty much all platforms have a way to read it. Like if you're on Linux, you can use readtext. If you're on Windows, get markdown pad or something, or whatever you want to use. Preview. Boom. Oh, I messed up that.
Yeah.
Get rid of that. But yeah, it's nice because it's like if you want to render it, it'll have formatting, but that by itself is readable. If you don't have any software to read it, it's like I write my notes in plain text anyway, so it's kind of like if I'm gonna do that, it's like why not just have the markdown formatting in there? So if I want to render it later, I can render it, but that reads just fine actually.
And then yeah, and then MakeDocs has style sheets that you can download and pretty much turn it into anything you want.
Something bigger. Boop.
Yep.
Hello. And that's readable. That's readable. So even if you don't like compile it, it's still readable. And it's just plain text. There's nothing specific except for the dot mark. Like it's gonna have either a dot markdown or a dot MD extension. Actually, if you go to like GitHub and you look up a product, like you see these guys down here with the docs for the project. You always see like this thing that pays like, hey, what does it do? How should I use this? That's the readme.md. You open that up.
Yeah, you can open it up in Notepad++ too, because that's generally
it's
how
markdown.
That's where I first when you did your GitHub tutorial.
Yeah, I put in like a little template for like a.
So I had to figure out what that was.
Yeah, it's markdown. Like you see, that's all you gotta type up, and GitHub will render it.
Yep.
It was that. So it's a really nice way to do docs and such. And if I'm just doing random notes, I just might as well do it that way. It's convenient. And if you use like a Pandoc, you can actually. If you use Pandoc, you can actually compile Markdown to lots of different things if you feel like doing it later. Like you can turn it into, well, you can turn it into HTML. You can turn it to LaTeX if you want. Actually, sometimes what I do is because like I might not need all that fancy formatting yet. I'll just write it up in Markdown and I'll just Pandoc into LaTeX and then edit that to make it look nice and printable.
And you can add pictures. You can add pictures, and you can add. There's codes in the Markdown for adding pictures, and.
Anyway, Pandoc's really handy. It's just convert everything to everything. Because I can. Yay! Yeah, that's pretty neat. That's pretty nice.
Let me show them sites. And sites has its niche for super stupid people. That would be me. And for like our meeting announcements and stuff like that. There it is. And that's just, I'm viewing a web page, it looks like, and I am. And if you've already started sites, you just click on edit. That's it. You're in an editor. You got your features, you got your colors, underscore, bold, your font, Also, if you want to link to a document and it's in the cloud, you just select, I want to insert a cloud document here, and it gives you your list of your cloud documents, just like you're there. Also, it has, when you're selecting it, when you want to set up, you can select your style. So this is a particular style. You can select, it's got a bunch of styles, and you can import styles. It's like
Microsoft.
Yeah, like Microsoft. And
I
it's
know that's a bad word.
just a box of words, yeah.
Oh, like another reason why I just use Markdown or stick to plain text for my everyday documents. It's also nice because it version controls really well.
Yeah. Okay.
If you need to merge or something, it'll just go together.
What?
It's not like a Word document or something, or some binary format where it's like, if you don't have anything to read it, you try to open it up in it because like.
And just, okay. If you're controlling your documents, that's a nice feature of this. This saves a whole copy or copies, but that's not anything like controlling your what you're creating. Let's see.
I got kicked off the internet again. I don't know what is up with it.
Doesn't like you.
It does not like me.
So that site, creating pages is just dumb.
Here, what the?
Create one.
Uh-oh.
I'm not on it either.
I was still connected.
Here. I've got.
I'm off now.
Where's your router? Let's see. ATC1 connect.
Yeah, it connected again finally. I don't know what's going on. My junk and it doesn't want to work.
There you are.
And then you got. I did a couple of demo sites myself because I thought sites is actually a pretty good thing.
You just want to do if you're not doing anything fancy, if you're not doing notes like Jeremy's doing, saving your document.
I think they're getting ready to block the MAC address on this router.
Think so?
Yep.
Well, if they did, then wouldn't everyone be kicked off right away?
Oh, both of my machines just got kicked off, and the Chromecast got kicked off. So.
I'm good.
Hang on a second. I'm going to turn off. I have a hunch. What happens if I turn off my VPN?
I don't know.
What do you know? Well, it ran a lot slower. What? That doesn't make any sense. Why is the... Okay, wait, I'm back. Wait, I'm not. Why is...
I don't know what's going on with it today. I really don't.
I'm good. I got wooed up.
Alright, I'm good now. That is weird. Hang on, I'm going to reconnect.
So I turn the microwave on.
Yeah.
Well, see,
Okay, that is bizarre. My connection's actually faster on the VPN. It's going round trip from Canada, and for some reason it's faster. What the hell?
well, we actually debated about how long it would take them to figure out that I was plugging a second router in.
Should they care?
I don't think they should, but they do. I'm going to have to go and talk to the tech guy.
I'm fine. What are you doing here?
I don't know. Something weird's going on over here. Could be this computer.
That seems pretty much okay.
I will disable Wi-Fi for a second. See, I've lost connection. I will re-enable Wi-Fi. See what happens. No device hub. I don't know. So that wasn't a very good demo for markdown.
Well, what you demoed is that it's simple.
It's simple.
It works with any text editor, and you can start not knowing anything. And if you want to increase your skills and use the fancy stuff, you can.
And there's 100 different tutorials online, but it's simple. That's
It's simple and it's plain text. Good.
and with the bullet, so you could really quickly make sites that look like that, and you can document your projects. Because I've got, none of these are actually real.
I have Office, I don't use it anymore.
None of these are actually real.
You don't use Office?
I have it just in case.
I was
Just in
telling
case.
Leroy
Shame.
on the way over here
Shame.
that Office 365 is like $90 plus $10 a month.
That's expensive.
And he said, "You ever heard of Google Docs?" Mm.
You ever heard of Google Docs?
If it wasn't for a lot of corporations are
Yeah.
hooked.
Yeah, they
Oh,
are.
yeah.
I keep
Oh,
it
yeah.
solely just to convert back and forth.
You're never gonna get them off.
Yeah.
But like,
You get it revoked.
now this is just my opinion, but it's like I feel like I feel like word processing maybe has its place, but it's like I don't like using word processing applications in general just to do simple things like quick documents and notes, because it's like I feel like 90% of the time your document doesn't actually need all those even half those features on there, and it's like and you do this thing where it's like, oh my gosh, I can see what it looks like. It looks slightly wrong. Let's spend the next 10 minutes trying to get this paragraph to come over. It's like no,
But
it doesn't even need it to begin with.
I'm like Jeremy for doing quick notes. I just open up the note editor and
It's like
in Linux and just
Yeah.
do a quick
I
note.
use Notepad
It's
and
like,
Windows all the time.
Yeah.
it's like the problem is you're mixing typing up the content and you're worrying about the presentation at the same time, and it leads to all sorts of workflow craziness.
If you work for somebody that does a lot of this formatting, they wouldn't be without it. I'm also saying it because actually I teach an application class where people learn how to do Word and Excel and PowerPoint and integrate them together and all that kind of stuff.
If I need something to look good, I use LaTeX, but that's a different thing.
Well, these have pictures of handsome folks there. Say it.
Well, this was going to be my demo site to update the current club website, but it's all right because we fixed most of the weird formatting issues that it was having.
Are you saying there was something wrong with our site?
The site, for some reason, it completely lost this block here, and it just disappeared. And
You call tech support?
we figured it out. Jim's the one that had to get it back, but we figured out what was going on with it.
He told me how to fix it. Okay, and I fixed it. Okay.
But
I had to recover something.
yeah, something weird happened, and that block disappeared. And that block is an automatic block, so I'm not real sure how Jim got rid of it in the first place.
All you need is a keystroke. Keystroke can wipe anything.
They also, you just click it, it says repair. So that's all I did. He told me where to go, I pushed repair. It was over. He couldn't do it.
I didn't have the access to do it. So. But
They do.
You can-
He has access to sites now. My site's not except for stuff like repair something or.
Yeah. There's
So there are some sharing going on, and even with sites, as rude and crude as site is, and stupid.
and there's hundreds of templates, so there's thousands of templates. But it's a good way to document stuff, especially these projects. I mean, once you get your project done and you want to document it, or even as you're going along, documenting it with the hashtags, so that you know you've done a different step or something. It's a good way to do it.
Yeah. And this thing with, I don't do this too often, but you can GitHub actually, GitHub will read the readme.md of whatever directory you are in. So you can actually keep adding readme.mds to each of your directories, and if you browse through the repo, each directory can give its own readme explaining what's in there. That's a bit much. I don't do it very much, but you can do it, which is cool.
And this site too is, I think it's ran by GitHub, and it's set up
Set up to use. Yeah.
most.
Well, I don't know if it's run by the same people, but it's set up to use. I forget.
I think, I don't know either. Honestly, it kind of got the GitHub feel to it.
Maybe, or maybe some related group wrote that.
Yeah, but it's set up to use Git, and it's set up mostly for documenting and manuals and that sort of stuff. So it's another good tool to use if you want to do some documentation. And you can put links. Like Markdown makes it really easy to add a link back to your GitHub project. So, you use the GitHub IO to link back to where the code is on GitHub whatever that is, .org. I thought I had links in here somewhere, but I don't know where they went. You can even do different bullet styles and I mean, it was real simple to add that stuff.
Big picture.
You just add the pictures into your directory and tell it where it's at.
Can you scale it?
I don't know. Can you scale it?
I think there's a way. I think you might have to add some HTML to do that.
Yeah.
You can drop HTML straight in if you need any of those functions. You're probably going to want an image.
I think it's scaled it anyway because it's a much bigger picture than that in real life.
Well, it's going to. I think by default it's going to scale it until one of the dimensions hits.
Because this picture here, this whole thing is a screenshot, and I've got 3 screens, so it scaled the picture down so that it's there.
So that it's viewable on the page.
And then it says, there's a link. I added a link to eBay. I don't know why, but I did.
Just to show a link.
Probably. eBay.
Can you add your cloud documents?
Yep. You can add links to anything. This here, remember the little robot head that just sat there and told jokes?
Oh, yeah.
So this is the documentation for that.
Well, yeah, there are also code blocks. So you can't put code. You just
Yeah.
bend it over once, and then it'll put it into a code block, and then that way, just don't mess with formatting inside this block.
Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here.
And they're 24L01.
I've got something about that. A lot of this I just took and directly copied from my other pages though, and see the formatting looks better. It's way more readable than if we went to Docs and looked for that. So, what was it? EFS. Let's see, it's running slow. Come on, find it. So,
The second one? First one.
I don't know, but either one. So there's February 27th, 2014. February 27th, 2014. So in my own personal opinion, this one here is easier to read than that one.
Yeah, but that's Google Docs, right?
Google Docs, yeah.
All right, let's go back to the other one. I like Google Docs.
Do you? In Docs, you see all the links and everything, and over here, the links have turned into just clickable
Okay.
links.
Okay.
I translated the links. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, just translated. Kind of thing that you normally do with Microsoft.
Yeah. I don't know. I think
Okay, go back to the Google Docs.
I
It wasn't
per-
so much the links, because I didn't look at the links. It was just sort of the spacing, the size of the text.
Okay. Well, we could change the spacing. Of course, I can't change the spacing here because I didn't put that document on this computer. Okay. I can see that.
You can probably pull some of those items still.
Yeah. I still think this is a little more readable though. You're not looking at all that HTML and.
You have the choice, I guess, in this one to interpret the link or to not interpret the link. Okay. The other one, you don't have that option. Depends on what you're doing.
I would be surprised if Google Docs wouldn't give you a link without showing you the actual link. Because it pretty much mirrors the same kind of stuff that Microsoft does. And what you can do is you can type the words, and then you can have a link that's associated with the words. So if you set it up like that on Google Docs, it'll work like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Depends on what you're doing, what your preference is.
How much time you got?
Well, I don't know. From my perspective, I just like the way this one looks a little better.
For permit documentation, my issue with Google Docs is that well, I guess that's not really an issue with Google Docs. It's really an issue with word processing, because it's word processing.
Word processing is not for programmers. I will accept
well, the
that.
problem is you want the doc you don't really need complex formatting for documents, and
Right.
you want them to stick with the project for a long time. So it's you want to keep it as simple as possible and have the lowest requirement to read.
And I think
if you have word processing, then it compiles into a binary, which like if you update the software and it suddenly breaks, then
And if you look at, for instance, the corners. So, if we go into my drive and into my corner, you will see thousands, well, maybe not thousands, but hundreds of different documents. And it's not really organized in any particular sense where I do actually have some control here, and I can organize over here on the left-hand column.
The biggest thing I like about it is that I can take all my markdown docs, and if I decide to host it somewhere else, I can take it to Bitbucket and shove it up there, and it will interpret.
Yeah.
Or if I decide to do my own local GitLab installation, you can shove it up there. It'll work. It doesn't care what it's running on.
Oh, jeez,
So
I just disconnected.
So if 2 or 3 years down the road I suddenly decide I don't want to host my documentation on GitHub, I pick up and go somewhere else.
Well, let's see, I like, and you can do the same thing in Google. I can search, like I just did for my document, but I could do that just as easy here. So I want to look for a robot or something, and I could search and see if it comes up with anything. And it didn't find, yep, it found a self-balancing robot. So every page that, and it just automatically made that search result right there. So when I want to go and I want to add some document, I could just add them to this left-hand side. It's all right there. I can organize it if I had, like, I obviously updated the none of my documents do that. Oh, whatever. Some of my documents do that. So I've got at least 2 things here that say for the cheap FS 1000 transmitter receiver, I could come over here and easily make just FS 1000 and then do subheadings A, B.
Set up a folder.
Yeah.
Folder layout.
I don't know. I just like it.
Microsoft can do all of that.
Microsoft can do all that.
No, see, the thing is, it's a separation. People who do, let's say, real development don't use Word, because Word has stuff in it that's not going to compile. And if you were to cut and paste something, it might mess up your software. But if you are into real documentation, like lawyers and hospitals and people like that, and particularly people who want to do annual reports and things like that, they do some serious formatting. Did you guys hear that?
R&L Electronics, $25.
Have you heard of that?
Which one?
NROF and TROF. That was how we used to do Unix documentation.
Oh.
NROF.
Oh, that?
Yeah. You had to understand all the commands, and there was no GUI. You had to have one person who's the editor, and everybody else send them stuff, and that person compiled the document, made the copies to share with everybody. That's ancient history. A lot of stuff they do now is kind of based on that. It was a good formatter, though.
I still use LaTeX.
Actually,
It's good.
What about WordPerfect? What happened to WordPerfect?
I remember that too. Inroff and Teroff was before WordPerfect.
Like I generally have two categories of documents. I have like documents that like don't need to look good, and I got documents that need to look good. And like the ones that don't need to look good, I'll just do it in plain text or markdown, or might as well do it in markdown because there's not much overhead. And then if it needs to look good, like what ends up happening is like I'll probably take that, compile it to if it works well, but if you don't need to, you can turn it into a LaTeX document, and then that needs to compile. But the really nice thing about that is that you got lots and lots and lots of plugins. It does version control very well, and the format is still plain text, so there's no binary format that you need to deal with, but it's a lot more complex. So I wouldn't call LaTeX readable, and it's as readable in its like plain text form. But the nice thing is that you can compile it on just about any OS or platform, which is nice for longevity because like it's been because since the format has been around since like the 80s, you don't really have to worry about your application going out of date and suddenly all my documents just broke. And I've had that happen before, and I wanted to bash my head against the wall. And that's sometimes a problem, and things like that. That's a pain. So that's worth checking out. Although it is tricky. It's not the most user-friendly thing ever. But the nice thing about it is that once you make a type of document once, since it is a programming language to a certain extent, you can actually have LaTeX documents that pull their text from plain text. So what you can do is you can have a template that pulls text from regular text files, and you can keep that thing. And if let's say this document is this is what my resume looks like. When you go to make a new resume, you don't really need to rebuild the whole thing. You just have a template that takes all the text and arranges it into the format of the template, and then you can make 6 or 7 different versions of your resume. And just keep going that way. Or if, let's say, you're going I'm making a test for, maybe you teach a class or something. You keep a template for your worksheets and stuff, and just shove in the plain text, and it'll format for you, and you pile, boom, done. So it's like once you make any type of document, you can keep using the same template to make the same document over and over again.
It went up $3.
Wow.
What went up $3?
It was $25 the other day.
Bofang transceiver, HF or UHF transceiver.
It's probably still on sale. Their website's not updated.
Wow. What about scanners? Do they got cheap scanners these days? But you can't scan with them because everybody's encoded.
Scanning is pretty much has gone all digital now, and digital scannings are not cheap.
Locked. Oh, and they're all locked up.
Well, they're not cheap. They're $400 or $500.
Wow. And are they encrypted too?
I don't think.
Scanning for what?
I don't think they encrypt.
Really?
Is this a site you've visited before and you've looked at this?
Yeah.
Because I've done this before, and what I would do is go in and erase all my history and cookies and everything, and then go back, and it's back to the original price it was.
I've run into that before.
Okay.
Going to Amazon, coming back to Amazon, doing a search from Amazon from a new website, I get a different price. Well, what?
It's cash.
Well, not this. What usually happens on Amazon is that they'll have multiple listings for the same item, and you might get different.
It'll pull up the different seller.
The different seller depending on who you are. Amazon's got a crazy amount of options.
I think the sale. I saw the sale price actually in the store. I think it's an in-store thing. It's not an online thing.
Oh, okay.
So
you didn't view it on here.
No, I knew they sold them on here.
But you didn't see that price on here. Okay, I got you.
I think it's you go in the store and you go, hey, wasn't this like $25? And they go, oh yeah, here you go.
R&L Electronics, where's that at?
Hamilton.
Okay.
They're a ham radio dealer.
Okay. Okay.
Where are your cookies? Cause something to change. It's like
Um,
someone trusts the client side too much.
But
Are you attending the Milford Hamfest?
Where do they sell the ham fest these days?
I didn't know I didn't know when it was. When is it?
I think it's the end of this month or beginning of next month. I can't remember.
MarkFest 2016, W8MRC,
eBay's back.
June 18th.
Okay, so it's
It's coming
a
up.
couple weeks.
I
Next week.
don't know. Hey, grand
I've got
prize.
some old stuff that my wife's grandfather, he was electronics. I'm not exactly sure what he did, but he has an old oscilloscope, an old function generator, and it's like, I mean, this.
How old is
Yeah,
old?
how old is
Well,
that?
the oscilloscope is one of the little tube.
Oh, no, that's old.
Yeah.
Good luck with that one.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
who
I just
made-
want to take it to
who made-
the Milford and see if anybody wants to buy it.
Who made it?
Honestly, I haven't pulled it out in years.
Probably doesn't support a high frequency. And you had probes for it? I mean, you just got the oscilloscope, no probes.
Especially the old ones.
Actually, I had an old one that I threw away. I wish that I hadn't thrown it away, but I just set it out.
The old ones weren't even standard amongst
Yeah,
themselves.
it was a Heathkit. I put it together.
The old ones used sometimes they used little screw-on connectors. Some of them you plugged them in. Some of them.
I think these actually have some kind of screw on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody might want it for nostalgia.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I'm never going to use it or do anything with it, so I figured I'd at least take it to the Hamfest and see if anybody wants it.
I've got an old oscilloscope, but I actually haven't really used it lately. But I have used it.
Yeah.
Those 32 gigabyte micro SD are class 10. Those are supposedly the faster ones, are $3.20.
Wow.
Shipped eBay.
What is that?
Micro SD, 32 gigabyte.
Oh, okay.
Micro SD.
Storage.
Coming from China.
That's a good price.
Yep.
Very good.
And how much was it?
$3.20 shipped.
You can get.
Okay.
You
How
can
much is Micro Centers?
you get 128. I gave this for a
on
graduation present, so you can get 128 gigabyte USB for Micro Center for $30 on sale. 256 is much more. But one of the kids from my camp, I
SD?
gave him. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, it's a USB thing.
Oh, the stick.
How much
Stick,
was it?
stick, okay.
It was $30.
Wow.
That was what?
You can get 256. It costs $100 and some bucks. But
Oh,
the,
okay.
the 128 was $30. It had $74 on it, but it was on sale, as they say.
I got the 128 gig SSD SATA 3 for $42.
You're talking about a drive, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about drive.
Oh
now.
yeah, that's good.
So the price come down. He was saying the 256 was
$60.
$60. Oh,
Still,
okay.
very good.
Yeah.
Actually, it's competitive now. You might say, well, I don't want to buy a hard drive.
It looks like Micro Center's 32 gig SD cards are $13. So $3 is a good price if you get them.
And that's a 10. I've already got two. Kenny's got one in his phone. So they seem to work okay, and I got one in my other.
They're real generic though, aren't they?
There. They
There's-
work.
For that price, they should just work.
And this, they
Oh.
got a rating of 10, so
Here's a class 6 32 gig from Micro Center for $6.
my 500 gig hard drive that I got was $39.
That's a
Again,
regular
2.5 inch.
Yeah.
That was a real drive.
That's like what's in this.
HDD or STD?
HDD. Yeah, I got a 500 gig for $40. This one blew up.
They do. 4
Yep.
years.
It's a 5,000 RPM, not a 7,200,
Mm.
and you do notice it on boot. I've got a solid state drive ordered. That's the other one. I was telling you about the 128.
Yeah, I'm almost out of space on this one, so I was thinking about getting a solid state next. This one, it's 250 gigabyte. I think I got 20 left.
You're running out of space.
Running out. The thing says red.
The 750s are coming down. He was saying he found some 750s cheap.
Micro Center has had a 750 for $40.
Mm.
Laptop.
$40. Wow.
Yeah. Micro Center does the same thing. You could actually find some deals inside Micro Center that aren't advertised anywhere.
They don't have a big volume of them, so they sell them in the store.
I don't, either that or it's just because you walked into the store, you get a special deal.
So I've actually got a high school friend that works at Microsoft. He's in the computer department.
Oh, okay.
His name's Nate. So if you ever go in there and say, Fred sent me.
Fred sent
He'll
me.
hook you up.
Nate, Fred sent me. Oh, I'm looking for a good deal.
I think I've talked to Nate a couple of times.
Yeah, he's got a long ponytail. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just updated all my customer managers.
I am using 200, I have 242, it says I have 242 megs free.
Wow.
That is
It says you're done.
incredibly small.
You're done.
Yeah.
That cannot be right.
That's why you're getting disconnected all the time.
Maybe.
Yeah. You're thinking about some compression or something, just saying.
It's a 500 gig hard drive that is partitioned incredibly weird because I'm dual booting. I've got Windows 10 on one partition.
Oh, the $28 cameras, be aware, they have Australian connectors on them. Talk to Jim. I can make a deal on an adapter. It cost me $1 a piece.
I'm pretty sure I could rig something up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I did. That's where I'm working now.
We need to know anything else?
But what?
I don't know.
I'm trying a solid state timer switch. I have some. They have some really neat timer switches nowadays. Solid states that'll switch on off during the day, and they're about this wide and about that tall, and they have a built-in digital clock, and they're pretty cheap. I think they're like $7 a piece, but what I'm using them for is to reboot my router at a specific time. I leave it off for a minute and kick it back on. And away I go.
If you wanted to, you could easily rig up an Arduino project to do that. And it's like 555. It's something else to do with it. Arduino.
Yeah.
I didn't finish my new mail server yet, so I had to just put that to work. Remember the one I built some time ago?
I'm surprised that routers don't have a built-in reboot option.
When it powers down, it is going to reboot. But if you want to reboot it without powering it down, you need something to push the button or turn the power off.
Yeah, I mean, they do need to be recycled every 60 days or something, based on what I've seen.
It's, never mind, most of them suck.
They're kind of counting on you being there, you know.
Yeah. The AC I got's been very stable.
So it depends on your router though, because the good router that I had, the one that worked really, really well,
Yeah.
I could just tell it to
Yeah.
auto power off
There's a bit of a gap there between like,
and come back on.
At any given
home
in a
routers
particular
and everything else. And the
Oh,
home
okay.
routers are the ones that suck. And it's like, really?
I think you could set intervals. So you could tell it 120 days, recycle, or,
That's what I would expect, but I hadn't found it on mine yet.
well,
Those are
mine
good-
wasn't exactly a home router
Oh,
either.
okay.
Yeah, it's like the routers you buy as like a small business or something, versus the routers you buy as like for like your home. The gap in quality is kind of huge, and it's kind of annoying to be honest.
The price is good.
Yeah, the price is good. I bought it Leroy,
Leroy
a
prices.
used one, in perfect condition.
Oh, wait, menu topic. Oh wait, am I interrupting anything?
Go ahead.
Hey, you're
It's
good.
open forum right now.
So I recently like had a little talk about dealing with passwords for like our internal employees, and so I got reminded of that because I just remembered I got to back up my password manager. I guess just to show this. Does anybody use like any really sucky pattern for their password, like the name of their dog plus a number or something?
Combinations.
Name of your kids, something like that. Okay. Okay, and I find this one of the best ways to tell you why this sucks.
Harry Potter plus old street addresses.
Okay, so this is why this sucks, and there's because like, and I learned how this sucks after I learned how to track this, but after learning how to use a few ways to practice. Okay, so here's Hashcat. It's a very popular advanced password recovery.
What are you
Or
trying to
password
show us,
recovery,
Jeremy? 'Cause
password recovery software. Oh, sorry. Wrong screen.
nothing's there.
Stop casting.
We see your lips moving.
I gotta cast the whole window. Hello.
Did you say this had Wi-Fi?
It's ESP
And
8266.
here's how to do a rules-based attack. Well, we have options for
This is really
lowercase, capital letters. Okay. So we can establish a pattern, and we can do, okay. We can also do a mask. So how about let's have password and whatever number comes after that. This password pattern sucks.
That's a slip.
How about if you know the name of the guy's dog? How would you put that in for 4 digits or after that? Make a list out of that. Let's contract our search space. Crunch. You can also do a mask with crunch. That is typically what you use for like an online attack. So I guess if there is something I want you to take away from this is that if knowing how your pattern works makes it not work, then your pattern sucks. So the best patterns are ones that they still work even if someone trying to crack your password knows your pattern. So like if you use like Diceware or something, you can, like, have you ever done Diceware like where it's literally you have a dictionary of words, you take some dice, and you can do the word. You don't calculate the strength of that password based on like the length of your characters. You calculate you already assume that they know you're using Diceware, and you assume that okay, this word has this much random, this word has this much, and if you come up with you're supposed to come up with a strong password that way, already assuming that it's going to be attacked by the same dictionary. So like, and the reason that works is because like English words are sort of the largest pool of things you memorize. So you use words and you go longer, and so if you go long enough, you get enough entropy, even if your opponent's using a dictionary attack, which is good. Also, like, you should probably write it down, because, like, to be perfectly honest, I think at this point, at this point it's been decided that memorizing all your passwords doesn't work, because then you make them really stupid.
Yeah.
So, like, pick a password
Or you
manager.
use the
I
same
actually have a
password
list.
for
I clicked a list of password managers here. Pick a password manager. I don't think it really matters which one. It's going to be better than memorizing stuff. I mean, you can use one password safe, KeyPass. I prefer KeyPassX after KeyPass, because honestly, I don't like it's up for KeyPass. But
I use PW Safe.
PW Safe's really good. You can use Dashlane has come up, and it's been pretty good. Remote form.
I've been using LastPass.
LastPass, if you're okay with using an online one, Dashlane has an online, encryptor is okay too. Let's use something.
Dashlane online. I'd like a nice online one.
Dashlane's interesting because they offer an offline application for doing it, which only stores on your computer, which I prefer that. That's just my personal preference. But they also offer online storage with their premium service. So
LastPass is just the opposite. They do the online for free, and
it's the opposite of LastPass.
You pay a premium to get it for offline.
I use KeyPassX. So I use KeyPassX, and of course, have a strong password.
I'm safe.
That's actually not hard to remember, because I'll tell you right now, and I'm comfortable with telling you this, it's a bunch of English words. I use usually like 5 or more, or 5 or 6 or more, because I've actually done the math. It's like, past that, it's like, it becomes tricky to crack. I mean, I need to buy a bunch of GPUs, and it takes me a few months, and it's...
Now mine's usually 3 words, but some of the letters are replaced with numbers.
I don't usually do that anymore. I used to do that, but it's like after because I ended up doing this for like mostly just to test my own stuff, just to see like how easy it is to do. Character replacements are like it becomes this thing where your goal when making it is to make it human memory efficient, but not efficient for computers to crack. And it's like like doing a character replacement does like make it harder to crack, but like the degree to which it makes it harder for you to remember is bigger than the difficulty you're adding on the other end. So it's like you're making things harder for yourself than you're making it harder for them to do, which is
and LastPass it's 100% random characters and symbols and whatever.
Yeah, that's good.
Up to a certain number, I can make it any length I really want. But
yeah, so yeah, just
the only password I really remember is one that I need to access LastPass.
Yeah, so like my rule is like use a password manager, use like 5 or more English words that are randomly picked. That'll get you enough entropy, and it's easy to remember to do that. And there are a couple other ones I memorize. I always memorize the ones to your email, because like you use that to unlock other stuff. So and obviously to your machines. You can't use your password manager if you can't get to your password manager to begin with. That would be stupid.
Yeah.
Actually, this is interesting. Here's something that's interesting. Something I've been seeing more and more of, and I'm not entirely, in my opinion, I'm not entirely sure if this really helps anything, is stateless password managers. this is if the page will load, but stateless ones, they're interesting. So, like normal ones, they take your passwords, they store it like in a little database thing, and they encrypt it so that you need a password to actually decrypt the database to actually see them. Stateless ones are a bit interesting because like what they do is like you have a they don't actually store anything on your machine or online. They don't store anything, period. They take your password and then the site name, and then like they take that and pass it through and then pass it through an algorithm to get a password. So your passwords are mathematically derived, and as long as you have like your master one and the site name, you can go to wherever you have the application installed and it will calculate what your password is. The problem with that is that it makes changing one for an individual site, you got to keep track of an extra increment number to do it, which I'm not sure if that's actually better or worse, but it's interesting. It's another way to do it.
I've started to see where a few sites are getting rid of passwords altogether and just sending you a text message or something that.
Well, that's two-factor, actually.
No, it's not.
Well, it's two-step.
It's two-step, but it's not two-factor because there's no password. You log in with you put your email in, and it says, "We'll send you a text message."
Does everyone know how that works?
Well, no. What are you talking about?
Like so, and really more sites should do this. Like there's two-step verification and there's two-factor authentication. Well, they overlap a little bit, but there's a difference. Like you have an option, like let's say you get to your Google account, or like
Gmail.
Gmail, where it's like you put in your password and they SMS you a text message.
Yep.
With a code then that you put in.
That's two-factor.
That's sort of that's two-step. And that's sort of a way to have like you want something you know and then you want something you have. That's sort of a roundabout way to get a lightweight way to get you have as far as your phone goes.
I've seen them just without the password though.
Yeah.
Where they just.
Well, you don't want to do that. I personally because I think like if you want to guard something really well, you want multiple factors for authentication. And like actually my Google account, well, I don't do that anymore. Like so that's two-step, which there is a bit of an issue with that because like it's not ideal because they have to send you something like in order that you send back to them. So it's not really a true you have something. It's sort of you can kind of sort of get that you have something. The best thing is actual like two-factor authentication, like it's a fob or something that you put in, or you have like a TOTP, like a time-based one-time password. So that's what Google Authenticator does. If you ever wonder what that did, basically what happens is that you get when you set up Google Authenticator or any other, or Authy, or I use free OTP.
I'm going to kill the
internet. Yeah, that's okay. If you use Google Authenticator,